I became interested in Supra because I was using their Oracle services across other previous protocols. And I found that to be more compelling than using other Oracle services. And then I went down further and further. I'm like, oh, wow, I can actually use the full on Supra L1 tech to build something even more compelling. And so now I want to introduce you to Tamada. Tamada, in the Georgian culture, Supras are dinners that people have, and the Toastmaster at the end is called a Tamada. So that's the role we want to play in this ecosystem, which is the Toastmaster of all the liquidity. As a result, we're creating the BE33 hyper efficient AMM. Okay. So what is a problem that we have in DEXs today? As many people mentioned, capital efficiency, right? The ratio of TVL to volume, poor incentive alignment, like liquidity mining incentives is usually a down only token with no real utility and chain impact. With these inefficient DEXs, we don't really get a whole flourishing ecosystem to grow. And this becomes a really important problem to solve in any successful DeFi ecosystem. Basically, we're taking the tokenomics design of the VE33 model. What the hell is that? It's just random letters and numbers. It essentially aligns traders, liquidity providers, and token stakers. And so the way it works is that it was originated by the Curve and Convex, now been popularized by Velodrome and Aerodrome. And so the idea is that you essentially are, if you're a token, a holder of our governance token, you're able to stake that. And that gives you voting power on how our new emissions of our governance token, how that's directed to the respective LPs. Now, why would you vote for one LP over the other? You are essentially bribed by those LPers who want more liquidity in those LPs. They'll bribe the token stakers to dictate which LP to distribute the new emissions to. The token holders get both value accrual from the buy pressure of the token, because the fees that are generated by the protocol are used to buy back the token, as well as the bribes from the LP, the ones that create the LPs. We can extend this out further by participating in the POEL. Instead of doing single side staking of our token, we can actually create the LP of our governance token with perhaps Supra, stake that LP within the Supra DEX model, and now you have a third level of kind of value accrual to the token. So now we create a really compelling flywheel from the tokenomics that can drive more liquidity and more trading value. As a result of this, it acts like an epicenter of a lot of benefits in the entire ecosystem. We create, and we can see it, like this has been proven out in other ecosystems of the value that's created. When this kind of a model was deployed in Optimism, we saw a significant amount of increase of other protocols that launch. We saw that this creates way more capital efficiency because you're focusing on not TVL, but on fee generation. You're incentivizing that. We see even a higher increase in the Nakamoto coefficient. So it further increases decentralization. And furthermore, there is clear value accrual in the token. So it's not just a forever inflating token. And as a result, this creates a lot more retention of liquidity in the ecosystem, and it draws in liquidity from external sources as well. And now this kind of protocol prints like crazy. Aerodrome on Base prints more than Silana and Ethereum, for example. Because these fees that are generated all go back to buying the token. Aerodrome has a FDV of 800 mil. As a result, I expect if all the mechanics play out correctly, this protocol would drive a lot of growth of the protocol level as well as the ecosystem level. Closest example is Silana. This is one that deployed on Aptos 3 to 6 months ago. It's running half the volume of Aptos now. It's a 30 mil FDV and it's printing $3 million worth of fees. So further now, let's extend out to why it pairs well with Supra's tech. Using the containers, we can make the swaps gasless. So you don't need to have a separate native token. We can just cut a fee from the token you're transacting with and use the relayer concept to make that like more seamless. We can essentially, in the concentrated liquidity type pool, use the on-chain Oracle pricing to determine where the default index price is. So people can't just park liquidity in random parts of the pool. They know where the default thing is. That kind of functionality can't really exist anywhere else that doesn't have a native Oracle. Furthermore, we can deploy automated liquidity strategies that become much more complex and composable because we have high throughput and we have Oracle, so we can take off-chain data to determine these really interesting concepts. Taking the steer protocol on Aerodrome, it's multi-chain now, and making that even more juiced up. Really excited to play around with Supra's tooling to make possibly the best DEX experience in any ecosystem. This is a team. That's me. I'm a cow sometimes as well. We have a team that's been building many DeFi protocols. My technology leads built over 100 things in the last decade. We have a backend engineer who's pretty cracked. He's built several things in the Solana and Ethereum world. As a result, we can build really compelling both in EVM, but also we can recreate this in Move from the ground up. And we have a strong network effect across many other DeFi projects. We're very keen on not just building a really compelling DEX, but also highly collaborating with a lot of other projects so that we can manage liquidity across a lot of protocols. This is the last slide is how we're going to be doing our tokenomics of our thing. Basically, mission's going to be over 2 years. Since we'll have so much revenue generation, the buybacks will create ample resupply of the emission so we can constantly use that to continue emissions post our schedule ending. And so that's about it.